Welcome to the December 6, 2022 meeting. Ms. Doyle, would you please read the required legal statement for this meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. In accordance with the Town Board's adoption of Local Law Number 14 of 2022, the Board's meetings are being held both in person here at Town Hall and by a video conference through Zoom webinar. The link to participate in this meeting by Zoom can be found on the town's website at the Town Clerk's Agendas and Meetings portal. You can also watch the live stream video and submit written comments through the town website. For anyone attending via Zoom, if you wish to speak during the meeting, then please type in the chat box which application you are here for, or you could also click the raise hand icon when that application is called. If you are here in person, when your application is called, you can either come up to the podium or the table. Sometimes the table is easier if you have documents to present. And as a reminder, just please state your name and hamlet of residence for the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Doyle. Mr. Rump, the Vice Chair, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Rump.
You're very welcome, Mr. Chairman.
And Mr. Jankowski, the Board Secretary, would you please call the roll?
My pleasure. Mr. Tagliavia? Here. Mr. Charrier?
Yes.
Mr. Rumpf?
Yep.
And myself. So we do have a
Yes.
quorum.
Thank you very much. Did the board that was present at the last meeting review the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
I think there's only 3 of us, so we can't vote on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to hold that over for next time.
Okay.
The next meeting, which the next meeting, I'll just announce it now, it's going to be on December 20th. Any old business to come before the board before we start with the agenda?
I have nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Nothing, okay. Then we'll follow the agenda as published. The first is a sign application, American Pie. The applicant?
Yes.
Present, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Michael Shiano from InterScience Research Associates on behalf of the applicant.
Right.
So the board and the planning board had been through a lengthy process to update the Bridgehampton Commons Master Sign Plan. So this was the original approved sign.
The one on the bottom?
The one on the one on the top was
Right.
so the one on the bottom was what was there, the blue with the blue lettering with the white background.
Right.
And as part of the updated master sign plan, we had updated the colors, and all of this was approved by both the Architecture Review Board and the Planning Board as part of the new master sign plan.
When was that done, Michael?
August 12th, 2021. When we went through to get all of the sign applications, sign stuff together to put in the sign permit applications to the building department, so all of the master sign plan stuff was with the landlord. When the landlord then went to all of the tenants to ask them, okay, these are the signs we're going to build, some of them came back to us and said, well, that's not what we want to put up. So one of them was American Pie, and so the one that we now have in front of you, we've removed the logo and we've kind of simplified the sign. So it complies with the master sign plan in that there are only 2 different fonts, 2 lines, which is something that's specifically stated in here, and we've also removed the logo. Part of the reason why we had removed the logo was because as part of the master sign plan, it did state that if there's a use that is less than 8,000 square feet and it does not have a logo, then technically it does not need planning board approval or architectural review board approval. However, when I was at the building department, I've had conversations with Marjorie Riley and the chief building inspector, Sean McDermott, and they feel that, and they've had some conversations with the chair about this, that that may not be the case under the zoning code. So that's going to be a separate thing that I would like to just talk to you guys about. But first and foremost, this is the change that we're proposing to this simplified American Pie sign, and that's
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
just going to make a comment.
sure.
The reason I asked you about a lot of, the differences between the two signs, I'm aware of it, I was at the meeting
Mhm.
prior to that, is because we are being broadcast all over.
Of course.
And without these being digital, we cannot put them up, and the general public, they can't see it from on the table. So
Okay.
next time when you come in, which you probably will be,
They are up.
They're right
they
here.
are, there it is, thank you.
Oh.
What am I looking at? Okay, fine, I've got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, I provided a digital copy, I think,
Right.
to Marjorie.
Okay, Mr. Rump, since that used to be your area, would you give us your comments and approval on that? Or,
Michael, is there an overall sign plan? I don't quite know where this is going to go. I just wanted to see that if I could. Great.
I'm sorry I did not have more of those.
That's all right. All right, I know where it is. It's not facing the road or
It
any
is
entrance
not.
or anything.
No.
I have no issues with it,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
thank you. Mr. Jankowski,
It goes
comments?
along with, there was like 28 or 32 that we did when we did that time, and it goes along with it. So the fact that they took the logo out, perfect. I think it looks
Yes.
fine.
Okay, yeah, and we'll be getting most of them back. Mr. Tagliavia, comments?
I agree. The only issue with a lot of others was the logo to be removed, and it looks like they've followed suit, so.
Okay, and I have no comments, it's fine,
Okay.
logo, or I'd prefer it without the logo, actually.
Mhm.
It's gonna be noticed more,
Mhm. Okay.
so fine, all right. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve American Pie sign. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
That's it, it's approved.
Okay.
No
May I ask
problem.
a question?
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
go ahead.
okay. So procedurally, just so that I can tell my clients so that they can then tell their tenants, I was reviewing the code, and under the sign, under the part of the zoning code that deals with signs, there's a section that says that in addition to getting a building permit, and I'll hand out,
Right, I'm aware of this, yeah.
in addition to getting a building permit, approval shall be required from either the planning board with respect to all signage that requires planning board approval pursuant to the town code, and where a certificate of occupancy has not been issued, the ARB or a successor for any such project that has received a certificate of occupancy, and the planning board with respect to all signage relating to a project where a master sign plan has been approved. So I was wondering why, if the master sign plan indicates when there's no logo, that we don't have to go to the planning board, and the zoning code states that we would not require architectural review board approval for signs that have a master sign plan approval, why we would need to come to the ARB to review the signs.
Okay, I can just shed some light on this.
Of course.
Okay, the way that this is written, you're correct, I believe, and I'd have to check with our legal counsel
Of course, yeah.
on this, but I know that has been abused, not with Bridgehampton Commons, but in other shopping centers.
Mhm.
It's been way over abused. And that's why I think the chief building inspector made a determination there's a change, it comes back to us with or without logo.
Okay.
And it's because of the problems that they've had in the past.
Can I ask
Yes.
what the abuse was, Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Just-
they would go
aware.
ahead and make the sign much larger than they should have. They would do like several fonts, and even one of them had some advertising on it.
Okay.
And this never came to us.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't with Bridgehampton Commons, it was in another area.
Right. Do you, do you know, and we can look through this,
Yeah.
and I don't expect you guys to give me an answer today on this. I know that you have to look through it. Do you know whether that particular one, whether there was a master sign plan approved on that?
Yes.
Okay. I just know that we went through,
Well, this is what I was told.
okay, I understand.
That was an issue with the planning board. But as in that code, the ARB has the right over all signage, even though it goes to the planning board for a master sign approval, it still comes to us
Right.
before that can be ratified by the planning board.
Right. And we went through the specifications of the Bridgehampton Commons
Correct.
master sign plan. So I guess I'm wondering whether we should, so the Bridgehampton Commons master sign plan, there are very specific indications of that you can only have 2 fonts, you can only have 2 lines of text.
Correct.
And the size of the sign is very specific.
Right.
And I understand that there have been some abuses in other places in the past. However, I'm just curious as to why, if there is a master sign plan, that gives the building inspector that is reviewing this very strict guidance on what they have to do. I mean, we.
Well, I can just make this real simple
Of
for you.
course, yes.
The chief building inspector on any residence sign or whatever can make a determination, should be reviewed by the ARB,
Okay,
whether it's a shed or whatever. I mean, we get these every once in a while.
okay,
It's their determination. He can override most of the code, and there is that
Of course.
statement, I believe, in the code, where the chief building inspector,
I believe if it, and I have that section.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that has to do with the substantial residential.
right, and I believe it's signage also.
I'll have to check on that. And I can also speak to the chief building inspector and
Yes.
Yeah.
to clear everything up.
And just so that you have a copy.
To me, Mr. Chairman, it would seem, if there are those strict guidelines, and the building, and the building inspector knows them and it meets it, it seemed to me that they could bypass this board.
Isn't that what you were asking,
I think
Michael?
that's what.
Yeah, and that's why this is written.
It-
That's
it-
why that's written.
Right.
Right, and part of, and if we have to come to you guys because the building inspector indicated that, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's just that we went through this process to get this approved, so that's why I wanted to confirm
Well,
it. And also, I know that the entire building department is extremely busy,
Well,
and so I'm trying to help everyone.
okay, look, the sign inspector came to me over this.
Of course.
Okay. I said, I didn't think so.
Mhm.
But when the chief building inspector wanted us to review it,
Okay.
then it's out of my hands at this point.
Okay,
I
I completely understand.
I'll go over the code and I'll also talk to the sign inspector as well as the chief building inspector.
Yeah.
And sort this all out, because I think the intent was if you have a master sign plan and it conforms, then you shouldn't have to go through this whole process.
right.
So I will clarify that.
Thank you.
And maybe in the past, I've been here, 13 years, 14
Right,
years?
yeah.
I think there's been probably, in some of the other areas that have a master sign plan, that it kind of gets lost, the older PDDs and things like
Yeah.
that, and I think that's where the problem was, perhaps,
Oh.
Mr. Chairman, so.
Yeah, it was a PDD
Yeah.
and
So
one of them.
It's an issue that, I think that if our council could go and talk to the building inspector.
And it could be that
Yeah.
they just didn't know and they just wanted to make sure the ARB looked it over to make sure it complied, but I will find that out, because if you have the master sign plan, then
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to go
Yeah,
through
this
the
one was
whole
very
process.
specific. I mean,
Right.
remember, this was like 2 months' worth
Yeah.
that we
Right.
reviewed
Of back
this.
and
So
forth.
to try to make it so that it's easier.
Well, see, my suggestion to the to the sign inspector was this. Since they're changing most of these signs in that shopping center, if they want us to review it, why don't they just take all the signs, we can do it in one meeting. But
There weren't, unilateral changes being made. The majority of them, I think part of it is that we did have to file 31 separate applications for this. So it was a lot of stuff for the sign inspector to go through. And I completely understand that, and she also has to do the paperwork for all of those. So, but I've been working closely with her to make sure that she's comfortable with what she's issuing. And part of it also may be that I think that the current sign inspector will do a really good job of keeping all of this stuff in order and making sure that these sign plans are followed to the T.
Well,
So,
if-
anyway.
If the chief sign inspector does decide, or, I mean, the chief building inspector decides that we should review it, I'm still for doing this, all of these
All
at once,
Right.
and getting it over with. I think
Right.
that would be the easiest
Right.
for
So
everyone.
I don't have to come for Petco and American Pie.
No,
and-
no,
right,
because we can go ahead and do it ourselves, even
Right.
without the applicant here.
Right.
You know, if it's that simple.
Of
Right, and
course.
it could just be, if there's a question, it could just be referred to one member, just to make sure that it complies, instead of
Right.
having to make you come here and,
Right.
right.
Yeah, because actually, in that case, then Tim or I could handle
Right,
that.
exactly, yeah.
Right.
You know,
Whatever the board is comfortable with and whatever the chief building inspector is comfortable with. at the
yeah,
end of the day. That's,
well, that's what I,
We'll see if we can
course.
get it clarified, so
I appreciate
yeah,
it.
less time and less money.
Right.
right.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
Michael.
Okay, next we have Dime Bank, which is at 50 East Montauk. Are there applicant here, or do we have the drawings on it?
We do.
Coming in from Zoom.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, my name is Bianca, from Going Sign Company on behalf of Dime Bank.
Can you put your video on?
Good.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
hi.
You good?
Okay, so I am working with Dime Bank originally for B&B. We're basically just changing out all signs that say B&B to the new Dime logo. It's just 2 aluminum pans that have acrylic letters. They're non-illuminated. And then we also have, there's 2 different tenant signs on 2 different corners or entrances into the shopping center. One of them is just vinyl, and the other one is an aluminum with a vinyl graphic on top of it. And that is a black and white. And then the tenant, the wall signs are the Dime logo color. So it's a blue, a green, and a white.
Okay, do you have,
It's
The
actually,
signs-
it's Kelly using it right now. Is there another one, Cal?
Yep,
Yeah.
there's one
Alright.
down here.
okay, that's it. Okay, so it's basically the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the front and the back.
Yeah, front and back on that.
In the smaller image on the first page, there's what looks to be an additional logo on the bottom right, or is that something, it's far away?
It's the street lamp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
can
yeah.
see it
Street
from this.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, all right.
Okay,
I
all
see
right,
it.
that concludes your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, fine. All right, Miss Albert is absent today, so Mr. Taglavia, you want
I don't
Look at-
see any issue with this. It matches the original sign dimensions. It's in the same location on either elevation. I don't see an issue with it.
to, okay, Mr. Jankowski?
Same, no issues. They're just replacing the signs that were there.
Okay, Mr. Rump?
I have no issues. This is another one that's got a master sign plan.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is the one that
This
was
is,
the
and
issue.
this was a site
This
that
place.
probably created the issues.
Yeah.
So
There
all-
wasn't
so all I would-
colors,
Well,
like
we
there
can-
wasn't
we-
anything
yeah.
that was matching
Yeah.
on this,
So
so.
I
We
just
can't-
wanna
we
make
can't
sure-
mention it.
Yeah, well, why can't we? I mean, I think this has got to match that master sign plan that was approved 20 years ago for this site. So that's the only comment that I have, Mr. Chairman.
Well, it's basically mine, so that it, yeah, it does match the rest of the signs in that shopping center of the master sign plan.
Yep.
The only thing I could see is that dime might be too big. For myself, I'd like to see it reduced.
Mhm.
You know, the lettering reduced by at least 20–30%.
Okay, we can do that.
You can, okay.
Would it not be approved if we kept it as is?
Well, depends on how everybody votes. I'm one vote, so,
Yeah, I don't
You
have an
can-
issue with the reduction.
okay.
Yeah, all right, so we'll go, yeah, we can go with
Okay.
that. No sense even taking
Right.
it that far. So it would be approved with the 20 to 30% reduction then.
Yeah,
Let's make it 25. and
All right, I
then
like
yeah,
that.
we'll split it, yeah. Okay, 25% reduction.
I think that, the colors logo is what everybody's gonna see. so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna, yeah,
And
they'll
it
notice
establishes
it.
how to get in.
Yep.
Right,
front
and
and
that's
back.
basically it.
Is there a record of the overall design plan for the entire complex?
Yes, we don't have it here.
Yeah, it's in the building
Is it-
department,
Somewhere, yeah.
and
So-
the sign inspector would probably would reference that.
Yeah, the only thing regarding that is the, maybe the color of the green. Because they wanted, I remember, when they did the sign plan, it was more muted. Most of the signs were in
All
that
of
shopping
them are-
center, but,
All of them are different.
yeah,
And there's nothing
Yeah.
uniform in that entire
So-
shopping center,
'cause they've changed so much, so.
at least if the sizing's.
Okay, do I hear a motion on this to approve or disapprove,
Motion to approve. Oh,
as with the reduction, or,
As with the 25% reduction.
okay. Do I hear a second?
Second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the sign with a 25% reduction. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, okay, that's both signs, the front and back are approved.
Okay.
Okay, I think you're gonna have to submit 2 separate sheets, though, on that. I don't know how the sign inspector's gonna handle it.
Yeah, I can talk with Marjorie about it.
Right, but it's in the minutes now, so,
Okay. All right, thank you guys.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, have a good day.
Okay,
You too.
so that's approved. Okay, next, on the agenda, we have a substantial residential, 412 Mitchell Lane. Are there applicants? Wait a minute, how did
We have
this get
690
in?
Ocean Road first.
Yeah, Ocean Road,
Oh,
690
They
Ocean.
withdrew that application.
What?
That was withdrawn.
That was withdrawn, that's right. That's why I,
690 was?
Yes,
yeah,
Oh, okay.
690 withdrawn for now.
Hold over or just withdrawn?
just
Withdrawn.
withdrawn.
Okay, so we have 412 Mitchell Lane. Do we have the drawings for that?
We do not.
Okay, then,
Is there
Do
anyone
we
on
have anybody
Zoom?
here?
no.
Charles?
Charles?
No one's raising their hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so then this will be a holdover. It's the first holdover. Okay, we have 199 Georgian Lane.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
Morning.
For being here.
Good morning.
I am Peter Mangiamelli, Southampton.
Craig Arm, West Hampton Beach. Okay, and I'm Alexandra. I prepared some information for you guys, a little presentation package.
Southampton.
And town of Southampton. This is for you and Craig, so everybody can follow along too. And then this was also submitted digitally as
Thank
well.
you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have
Thank
extra
you.
copies for the remaining members of the board. Do you want a copy of that? or-
Actually, I can just look at it on the screen.
Okay, and I have
Thank
a
you.
copy for you as well.
renderings are toward the rear, if you want to go to that, go to the last three
Yeah, we'll
pages.
just review it quickly and then you can start your presentation, Jim.
Two.
Kelly, I have a question. We were the landscape architects who worked for the previous owner.
The previous owner?
Yeah.
I thought so.
It's
Yeah,
not for this owner then.
This,
Yeah.
yeah, but it has some bearing because one of my comments was that what is, the screening that's there will have to remain or replaced in like kind, so
We plan on leaving it all, so maybe that helps everything.
I don't know, all right, does that have any bearing on it? 'Cause
No, as long as you're
Tim
not
did
doing
it.
anything on this particular application, I don't see an
So,
issue.
fine.
No, I saw it
Thank
in the agenda, and so that's the only question I had.
Thank you for checking.
We're good to go.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you can start your presentation.
So we have, I've been building around here for 25 years, live out here, raise my kids out
Yeah.
here. I've done probably 60 or 70 properties out here, and not only Southampton town, but the East End, Southampton, East Hampton. And we were in the building department since July. Our permit, from what I understand, is sitting there, and we found out we had to go to ARB. I guess a couple of weeks ago, we got an email 2 days ahead of time, and there was some disconnect. I talked to Kelly. I made some recommendations for the process. I hope nobody minds, but that's why we weren't here last time. We didn't know about it. So we got a bunch of things together quickly for you, and it's a 1-acre site on the water, faces east. The front of the house faces west. The rear of the house faces east, on the water side, I should say, to be clear. To the south is a large gambrel house, Jeff Cole, sorry, who's elevated above us. His property, I want to say, it's about 6 or 7 feet, I don't know, Craig?
At least. It's
You know,
almost 8 feet, yeah.
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 So that's to our south, which would be the right side of this house looking at the front. And to the north is that large 5-acre parcel. I forget the name of the couple over there. It's an older brick home.
Yes, yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So we're kind of nestled in, and like Tim said, we're kind of, we've got 12-foot privet on the front of our property, the west side. We've got tall trees along Jeff's property to the south, and then we've got trivet and trees on the north spotting. We can still see into their yard there. And then in the rear, we've got a seawall, which is really, a distinct part of this property. We have a seawall, which, Marty Shea was very happy with, and he approved a couple of years, I guess it's about 3 years ago now?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Yeah, before, right?
Took us a while to get there, but we got it.
Yeah. So, we don't plan on doing anything seaward of the seawall. And landward of the seawall, we agreed with Marty to put a rain garden in. So just some plantings along the seawall and then wrapping around the sides, 5 or 6 feet. It's on the survey if you want to go to that. You can see that there.
Right.
That's all been approved by Conservation months and months ago. If you're looking at that survey with the multiple colors,
Yeah.
it's that pink, yellow, and pink that abuts that large pink area that's waterfront.
All right.
So the house, conforms to everything. Didn't ask for any variances, didn't need any variances, made several concessions for Marty and Conservation just because they asked for them. We thought that was the right thing to do. So we did a bunch of that. It's really a straightforward application. It's a simple landscape plan, which, again, it encompasses that rain garden. I am so sorry. I didn't even know it was there. Thank you.
The man in the back.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to, on the south side, clean out some of that. There's a lot of dead brush and stuff, and we're gonna put some nice newer trees in there along the southern boundary.
Okay.
We're also removing the existing pool, which is extremely non-conforming. There are photos there. There's also aerial, if that's helpful, if nobody saw that. Existing aerial. So that's it. It's a straightforward application. We plan on using like a weathered cedar, of concrete. And this is, it looks black, but it's actually a lot warmer. It's got some brown and gray. And those are the colors that you'll see in the rendering. And those are the materials we're using. And in the back of the house, we have, pavers with grass joints. So it meets, Marty Shea's desires. And that's about it. It's a pretty simple application. It's a house, a pool, all within a contained area and a driveway and a garage in the front.
Okay, yeah, I'm the lead on that area, so, yeah, I actually went out there before this meeting, looked at it, yeah. It's quite a bit different than the houses within the area, but it's got sufficient screening, so there is no problem
Okay.
with it. I mean, in my opinion, it has none. The waterside view, I think it's going to be very attractive, for somebody that's across the pond or the water on the other side.
Thank you, Craig.
So, yeah, so I don't have a problem with it at all.
Awesome.
The screening would have to remain or replaced.
We plan on doing exactly that.
Right, so whatever. The materials are fine. What you've said is black and it's a lot warmer. It's because we're inside. Outside, that's going to have a whole different, it is, you can see the brown tones coming out when this is outside. so-
You're 100% right. When I look
Yeah.
at colors in my office, I walk outside to look at them.
Right, yeah. Here, it's not that great. So I don't have any problem. The design is in keeping with a lot of the houses within the area, not immediate area, but
Across
close.
the way and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I don't have any problem, and I recommend approval. Mr. Rump, comments?
I have no
And
issues.
would like you to just, any comments you have on the landscaping?
No, it's very simple, and it's really just it's the view of the water and the wetlands and everything else. I don't have any issues, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Jankowski, comments?
With the leads in the area, and just say, nice work, Craig, it looks good.
Yeah. And Mr. Tagliavia, comments?
Anything changing with that wood bench? area?
No,
That's
actually, we
gonna-
love it. We're leaving it there, if that's okay.
Yeah, that was just Michael, because we did that.
Uh-huh.
It's to make sure we didn't have a fence
Okay,
because of
understood.
the drop down from the
Depth
wall.
of the
to-
bench
instead
plus
of-
the height, I think, is in lieu of a railing.
Right.
Is that correct?
It's over 30 inches, yeah.
Okay.
So-
I have no opposition. I think it's a great
Okay,
design.
fine, and
very
yeah,
nice.
thank you, and thanks for the full presentation. It made life a lot easier.
May I ask a couple of questions?
Sure.
So I've never come to the ARB, and I've built plenty of houses out here. We thought we were getting a building permit, then all of a sudden we had to come to the ARB. I talked to Kelly, who was very helpful, and then I talked to the building department, who had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
So, and then another office started sending out emails. It was a bit disjointed. I know you guys are going through staffing stuff, I understand. What's the process? Because we have another building application in. Like, why was this flagged for a hearing as opposed to something else? Is it size?
Size.
Any new house over 7,500 square feet,
Well,
I believe?
yeah, it should go to to a full board review.
Okay.
And that is a suggestion or whatever, a comment that land management wanted. They want it tight, they just want it tightened up. It used to be over 10,000
Got it.
square feet. Now it's
A
7,500.
recommendation to Kelly, the board, it should be on the building application, so that we can prepare for this ARB meeting.
Yeah.
Early
No, I
on.
understand.
Either submit it with the building application, or at least have it ready when the time comes. We had these renderings in the works, so we were able to finish them up in a
Right.
week or so, but it would have been a tall order to get this ready in 2 days.
Right.
No, it's
No,
not true.
understand, I mean, and to have it digitally too. Because that's something that, because,
I heard you
see,
before, yeah.
the general public can only see what's on the screen.
Understood.
And we've had comments and complaints when they don't
Fair enough.
see it, so that's
Second
basically.
question, how does approval work? Is this approved today, and we can go to the
Yes.
building and get a permit tomorrow? or-
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
We're the final approval.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a few months with an application.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really
So
appreciate
it's
it.
Yeah,
it's first and second floor, not the basement. All right, just so you know. it's
First
the
and second floor.
First and second floor.
This one doesn't have a basement, but I
All
get
right,
it.
all right, so just, so you don't,
That's a good distinction.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, square foot living space, first, second floor.
right.
Yeah, so it's just the first and second floor.
And-
We're looking
and
at
not gar-
aesthetics.
Not
Living,
garage.
Not garage.
No
not
garages, that kind
Yeah.
of thing, it's just the
Living.
main
But,
house.
but like you heard me in the previous, the chief building inspector can look at this and say, I want the ARB to look at it.
Right. You know, we have most of the stuff, as long as we know. We gotta make a few samples or something. It's not a big deal, as long as, even if we have an inkling we may have to end up here, it's not a big deal if we know. So thank you so much.
Well,
And
another
you do
thing,
everything, everything's digital now.
Yeah,
So
so-
that really shouldn't even be the difficult part. It's really just a matter of like
Well-
a quick presentation and you're coming in to see us.
Yeah.
and you use AutoCAD, I assume.
He does.
He does, so
Yeah,
it's
all
two
easy.
clicks and you've got digital drawings.
Yeah, we're still
One,
used to
one
doing
other comment I'm gonna make is sometimes it's gonna seem simple that you're asked, or ludicrous that you're coming to the ARB. And it could be because of a complaint from neighbors or something else in the neighborhood.
So it's
And
not
the-
just over 7,500 square feet, it could be something else we're gonna.
Could be
It could be
Could be
200.
anything. If
I
the
mean-
building inspector doesn't want to sign up, I don't personally want to sign off on this, something that I don't like that's in my area. Hey, I want to bring it to the board just so that everybody else gets another set of eyes that are on it. Just another checks and balances, that's it.
Right.
So if it was very different than everything in the area, even if
E-
technically it conformed,
E-
whoever's in charge.
Even if
could-
it's not that much different, because if neighbors are complaining, and sometimes we've had this situation where there was no reason for it to come to the ARB, they complain, this gets it away from the single building inspector or the chief building
totally
inspector.
understand.
It's gone to the board, we've approved it,
You covered yourself in the
then,
process.
if they want to
Another checks and
complain,
balances.
then they go to an Article 78, which then Ms. Doyle handles.
Hopefully you don't have too
But
many.
it
let's
gives,
not
it
do
gives the
that.
public an idea,
Right.
in a public forum to express their concerns, and, which is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah,
No, we totally got it. We got
All
it,
right.
professionals.
yeah.
Tim, Chairman, Ted, and Michael, thank you so much.
Right.
Have a great day.
Right,
And
and
bring
thanks for the
everybody else.
presentation.
Have a nice holiday.
Right, you guys
well.
too.
Do you want any samples or anything, or?
No, we don't need
Okay.
it. No. Thank you.
Use them for the next one.
We've got this one, okay. Next on the agenda is 7 Gleason Drive.
I don't have anything for this one.
We don't?
I do not.
Charles, is there anyone for 7 Gleason?
I'm sorry, did you actually vote on the last one?
What?
Did you take
Oh.
a vote on the last one?
Sorry, we didn't vote on the last one, sorry. Yeah, you've got to be here while we vote. I'm sorry, thank you.
I thought the same thing.
Pointed that out.
Okay, all right. Do I hear a motion to approve 199 Georgian Way?
Georgian
in
Lane.
Watermill? What?
Georgian Lane.
Georgian Lane.
Georgian Lane in Watermill.
I'll approve.
You'll,
Yes.
made the motion
I
to
make the
approve
motion
it.
to approve.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve 199 Georgian Lane in Watermill. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's approved. Right, you too.
Thanks, Patty.
Yeah. And you can go down to the building department, and just tell them we approved it already. Awesome. If that's gonna help. Right. Okay, next we have Gleason Lane
Drive.
Drive, sorry.
Is there anyone on
Really?
Zoom? Sure. No hands, okay.
Okay.
Held over there?
Held over, yeah,
And is that substantial?
yeah. They, I don't understand why. Can
I
you
was,
look at it?
yeah, looks pretty small.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I almost thought it was in Pines, but it's not.
I know.
It's on the, when I looked at it, like where it is, it's only down the road from my house. I'm like,
Check on that and see why that was referred.
Okay.
Well, I think we still should, hey, if they want it,
I know. I'm just worried, like, is it something I missed or,
no.
because it should be my area, but I don't remember it being over 7,500.
No, they could,
All right.
or
let's see if we can
there
just
could
find
be
out.
something else
You
going
can send me
on.
an email or something if there's something, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if it was-
Okay, next is 825 Old Sag Harbor Road. Do we have the applicants for that?
They might be attending by Zoom. Because Because we did hear back from the applicant.
And they sent you the drawings?
Yes.
No hands. There are a few people on, but I see no hands.
Well, we can wait. We can, if
Sure,
there's
we can
no
come back
objection,
to it.
we can come back to it at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Because we have a couple more,
People in there.
yeah. All right, next is 15 Watermill Heights, and the applicants are here.
Good morning, members of the board.
Morning?
Morning.
Carl Benincasa, 860 Montauk Highway, Watermill, New York, on behalf of the applicant.
Constantine Beladidze, 399 North Main Street, Southampton.
Constantine is the owner and developer of the property. Plans were finalized the beginning of last week and submitted to this board last week. Just want to make sure you have them all.
Yes. Right now, I just have the aerial photo, and then here are the plans.
Great. So 15 Watermill Heights is currently a vacant property. It's actually never been developed. For some time, it worked in conjunction with the neighbor directly to the southwest there as a sort of landscaped improvement, but there's never been any structure on it. It is a 4.6 acre lot in the CR 200 zone. The proposed structure sits within permitted setbacks, 100 feet from Watermill Heights, off of the circle there, towards the center of the lot. As you can see, it's a rather large lot that is mostly vegetated naturally. And the plans, as proposed, are a modern home, consistent with many homes in the area. And Constantine, I'll let you speak to the design elements.
Design elements, on exterior, we're mainly going to have stucco in 2 or
Hold on,
3.
Charles, can you hear him? I just want to make sure the mic is picking you up. Just speak a little louder.
It's big enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So exterior will be 90% consisted of the stucco. So the colors will vary between white, brown, and gray. We're going to have some elements of the wood as a inserts, like in such areas, like here, but mainly it will be just a stucco.
Okay, let me just ask a question. Do you have a colored rendering of this?
No.
Okay.
There is a conservation easement bordering the property. I don't know, do you have a survey?
I don't have
Okay,
this.
sure. So you can see here, this is a conservation easement, so this will remain vegetated but for the driveway. It's 50 feet from the front of the yard with Watermill Heights. So that'll serve as some additional screening as well.
Miss Keys is the lead in this, and she's absent today. Mr. Rump, would you take this over?
Sure. And looking at the survey, it looks like there are clearing restrictions on the property?
Sure, yep. And the proposed disturbance is in line with the claim restrictions, including the proposed tennis court.
Tennis court, okay, great.
Just in line. There's 40,000 square feet, I'm sorry. The permitted clearing on this lot, just trying to get it right, is 40,000 square feet, and the proposed is 40,000 square feet. No variances are required of any kind.
Right. I really don't have any issues, Mr. Chairman, as Mr. Benincasa pointed out. I think it's, the architecture fits with the neighborhood, and there's plenty of, natural screening throughout the site, and they're doing minimal clearing, so I don't really have any issues.
Okay. Mr. Jankowski, comments?
The size of the lot and where he's gonna put it, you're really not even gonna see it. It fits in the neighborhood, and then at least on the ARB sheet, if Constantine's saying that he's gonna use this color, this color, this color, then as long as it's written, before we say yup, then I'm okay with it.
Okay.
So I don't have any issues.
Okay, Mr. Tagliavia?
I have no objections either.
Okay, my comments are that with the colors, are they going to be harmonious together? Because, or is it going to be in sharp contrast?
The way you see it here, you see all this white, it's actually gonna be white. Then those are gonna be gray, and then these are like it's like a wood slats, so mahogany color.
Mahogany
Yeah,
color,
so it's brownish.
brownish,
so-
okay.
With a little red in it, if it's
Yeah.
gonna be, right? With
Yeah,
mahogany.
so, I mean, at first. So
it's gonna
in a
look
year or
patina.
two, it's gonna get that
it's
silver.
It's going to get
Yes.
gray, okay, fine. So, I mean, it's going to be almost, in a couple of years, this is going to be monochromatic then.
Between white and gray, correct.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. So, I mean, and you're so far back from the road.
You won't be able to see. where
Yeah,
the
if you were
house-
right bordering the road and it was going to be seen and you weren't going to screen, then we would want a rendering. Okay, I have no issues with it. I'm going with Mr. Rump on this too. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, to
Approve
approve?
as presented.
And I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys, for
Thank you
coming in.
very
Thank you very
much.
much.
Thank you.
Good to see you all.
Good to see you.
Right.
Have a great holiday.
You too.
All right.
Approved. Okay. Next on the agenda is 2069 Deerfield Road. Charles, do we have drawings?
We do have drawings.
We do.
Yeah, I have someone.
Okay, thank you.
Might have to turn on your speaker.
So this one I did review and suggested it comes to full board just because of the retaining walls around the
Right,
perimeter of the
and-
property.
Yep, now we
And
can hear
I'm
you.
going to mention something else also.
Mhm.
There were other houses in there with retaining walls, and some of the neighbors have been complaining. That's another reason why this came to the full board.
Guys, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You can't hear us?
Yeah,
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we could hear you, yeah.
So, is this an application because you had some neighbors complaining about retaining walls?
Partially, and because the lead for the area wished it to go before the full board.
Okay, the what? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You can't hear, can you hear us now?
A little bit better.
Okay, the lead for the area, in this case, Mr. Tagliavia requested that it go before the full board because
Okay.
of previous complaints, and this will, if the full, you know, like we've gone through this, I don't know if you've been listening.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, so you understand why it goes to the full board decides, and then it gets approved or disapproved. If it's approved, then complaints will just fall by the wayside.
Okay, so we actually have a neighbor complaining? Because-
Apparently,
Okay, because if you saw my submission, we
Could you just, sorry,
purposely took-
could you state your name and hamlet of
Okay, I'm
residence?
sorry.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm Stephen Salamone, general contractor for Boston Building, and I'm here with Paul Perini from Boston Building also.
Is there a site plan?
I think there
Kelly, that
was,
we
that's
could see?
exactly what I was thinking too, to see
Yeah.
what the grades are.
Photos.
It was kind of early, Kel.
I
There it
did
is.
submit, I did submit a site plan. I marked it as Exhibit C.
Yep, here it is.
Yep.
And as far as the retaining wall, if this is one of the concerns, we do show it
We highlighted it in blue to show less than 2 feet high, in green to show 4 foot high, and in yellow to show 6 foot high. So that, if you look at that, you would notice that the majority is 2 foot. We have some green, it's 4 foot, and then just near the tennis court or the pickleball court, it's 6 foot just on the one side. The pictures I took purposely to show the neighborhood, I don't think there's, I think probably 40 or 50% of the houses have retaining walls. And we took the three houses that I submitted, one right across the street, one next door, and then one next door on Middle. So we kind of surrounded ourselves by the 3 immediate neighbors who all have retaining walls of much greater size, much greater size. Some of them look like 8, 10 foot, right? Also, of course, in Deerfield, the whole neighborhood has the topography. It's up and down. You almost can't get away from it. So we do our best, as I wrote it in my letter, to reduce retaining walls and work with the topography. And sometimes you don't know until you get on the field, but our experience has shown that most of the time, it's less retaining wall than we need or proposed.
Could you describe the
Also-
materials that you're going to be using? Or that the retaining wall is existing of?
No, there's no retaining wall yet. Probably what, the block?
Yeah, it's the structural block with the finished face. They call it like a crackle face.
Also, if you note, I also included the original subdivision, and this particular property is 500 feet from the road, so no one would be able to see it anyway, except just the one neighbor. It's really a private road, so this road that accesses to Lot 3, it's used primarily for Lot 3 and then Lot 4. So no one could really see the house, nor can they see any retaining wall from the road.
Okay, do you have a sample of the block you're using or propose to use?
I can take a picture. The sample would be heavy. I can get that for you, of course.
No, a picture of it is, yeah.
Oh, do you have a picture? Yes, do you have a picture?
Yeah, Deerfield Road.
Yeah. If you give me a moment, I'll see if we can get a picture from what we've used in the past.
And this is what you use for this house?
This is what we would probably use for this house, yes.
Well, not
This is
probably, but will you?
Yes,
Okay.
we would use it. We're going to use this. It has a decorative face on it. And again, as you see, most of the wall is 2 feet. So we'll probably do some landscaping in front of some of the wall also where we feel it would be unsightly. We're looking up the picture. I apologize. I didn't really know exactly what I was being called for, so.
Yeah, I'd want to see a sample of what the retaining wall is going to look like, as well as, the neighboring property in concern. Is that in close proximity to the 6-foot wall, and what will we be seeing as opposed to the court? Is it a sunken court, or are we going to be seeing a 4-foot wall on both sides?
What?
The court would have the 4-foot walls on the 2 short sides, and then the 6-foot wall on the long side. But if there is no neighbor over there, that's actually open space. That's now going to go to town of Southampton.
Wait a minute, I don't understand.
No one's seen it.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman?
Yes. What?
The retaining walls are such that you're retaining the exterior grade, and that will the neighbors see these retaining walls?
Not.
Is that correct? I mean, the top of the wall is basically
They will
gonna,
not see it.
the top of the wall will be meeting existing grade, and you're manipulating the grade on the
Court side.
the residence side, the court side, and the swimming pool side, correct?
Yeah, he's saying.
Yes, that's correct.
You won't see from the outside, yes. So it actually has sunken.
So everything is basically sunken down into the ground, so that anybody looking in will not see the retaining walls, but will just see the house, and that's about it. If they get up,
Correct.
if they get up to that driveway. All right, I just wanted to just clarify that.
Right.
Yes.
And this, if you see, I can point, this is owned by the town,
Okay,
this
sorry,
parcel.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Explain it afterwards. That was pretty-
Okay.
is what I was getting at.
Right.
Well, that's the only right.
And the town also owns this space here.
So it's just the residents to the
What are we trying to do
northwest.
with that? I didn't know if we could like email it. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this.
Can you see that?
No.
Can you email it to yourselves and put it up on your screen? If we let you, okay, that, I fully understand that.
Share a screen.
You just share a screen, that's all you have to do.
Oh, I can,
I know,
okay, all right, then what thing I'll work on that.
I'm technically illiterate as well, so no worries.
I'm showing you the picture. You gotta do it.
Yeah.
Oh, share content, hold on. Screen. Okay, get that, switch camera. You want to email that, if he emails it to me, do I sign off of this, or, you want me to, who do I mail it to? I can email it to someone.
You can email it to the building department,
Right,
right?
Charles, or,
Right now, you would see it quickly?
well, building department, we won't see it, though.
No.
No.
Let's see. If you want to try to email it to me.
What's that email?
Okay. It's K Doyle, D-O-Y-L-E.
You broke up, I'm sorry.
Charles, are you able to type in the chat box
Yeah, I can.
my email?
Why don't you come in here for a sec?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hang on one second. We're
Yeah.
gonna type it into the chat box so that you can just cut and paste.
Oh, yeah, we don't see any of you guys, actually.
You don't.
All right, hang on one second.
I don't see anything.
There was just no cut sections indicating the grade. There's no screening indicated, so the one
Yeah.
resident
Can you
to the
see,
northwest.
can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I hold up that picture, that's not good enough to, you can get an idea. This is a very common block that's used quite a bit. So-
You have to do it so we can see.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, there's
It's not, it's a picture
reflection.
to a picture, it's just not gonna.
it's tough for us, and it's got to become part of the file.
Okay, all right, we'll get it, chief. You want me to email it to Kerry?
I can see
He's gonna email it to you, Kelly.
Okay.
Well, see if you can print that, print it now, print it in color, if you can. And then maybe we can screen it a little bit.
Well, he said he wants it in the file anyway, so you're gonna have to figure it out or email
Remember the pre-digital days?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
Share contents.
it. Yeah, maybe that's because you're on the shared content screen.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't want to.
I mean, you had them the whole time, I don't know why we don't have them now.
Well, I not seen
No, they were on before, when they were talking.
it. There's no way.
No, I know that, but they were on the screen before.
So then, if there's something you want to say, then you should just say it. Like,
Yeah.
it's a landscape and a cut sheet. and
So
just
we should just see maybe a photograph from the northwest property line towards where the retaining wall will be, and maybe a cut section indicating the grade, and whether or not the landscape will be built up to the northwest side of the 6-foot wall. Because it seems that the largest section of the wall is going to be facing the neighboring properties. You know, to the south.
Yeah.
To the south and to the east, there's no concern. It's just the one neighboring property. And there's no section cut indicating the grade change or the detail of the fence, as well as any buffer with vegetation between the two properties indicated on the site plan.
Well, I think that's all natural vegetation. We're not allowed to clear that area, so that, from that point, all the way to any neighbor, it's all existing woods. And, you know, if you want us, I don't know that there's room behind that 6-foot wall, but if you want us to put some arborvitae or screen in front of that, we could do that.
If you submit I just want to, I think we would like to see the material of the wall in a clear image. If you could email that, we could review that, and then just clear indication of the grade change as proposed. Because right now this is showing an existing topography. You know, it's not clearly indicating that the court is going to be sunken and that this retaining wall is holding back vegetation.
So that would be to the north neighbors, that's
Correct.
you're concerned about,
Mhm.
okay.
So this survey isn't clearly indicating the proposed final grade. This is an existing grade and then with a proposed plan on top of it.
Well, it does have top of wall and bottom of wall, so that, you know, shows what they.
Kelsey, see if you can just keep zooming in.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
those
Yeah, so we can
numbers-
read those.
Yeah.
Looks like,
So, okay, top of wall is 162, which meets the
And what's bottom saying?
156.
Okay, so then that's the 6-foot section, and then
Right,
what's
and
that
that's
line?
that's meeting existing grade there.
Yeah.
Okay, there's 162 line, and
Yeah.
then
But
what about at the, just scroll down towards the, right there, what's that next grade line?
See, I don't see that.
Can't
160,
even read it.
158, 154, 152.
Right, so then that would have to be exposed.
that's going to be exposed according to this plan.
So what's, the court elevation is 156.
56.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Rum.
If the court is at 156, why is the bottom of wall at 152?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the top of wall is 54, it's below the
150, yeah, the top of the wall is 156.
Okay, can you answer that?
Well, it changes with the grade. So at the closest point to the neighbor in question, the entire wall is below grade.
Right.
And then as you move away from that property, moving towards the private driveway, it starts to go the opposite way. So obviously it levels out and then the wall starts to change. So that's why you see the top of the wall closest to the neighbor is equal with their grade, 162. And then by the time you get to the far opposing corner, the top of the wall is at 156.
So therefore, you're not going to see
So
it.
it's not one big freestanding wall that's,
You
you know,
go
all
on
on
the-
one
on
side
that
and not
southern
on the other. It's
corner.
following the existing grade,
You
but the
go on
part
that
closest
southern
to the
corner.
neighbor is
But
below
I
their
mean, on the
existing grade.
north.
When it starts, you won't.
Okay.
But as
Right.
it gets to the corner, you will.
So it's not a 6-foot wall at that point?
We're correct, it transitions down to 4 foot.
All right, so your graphic is a little misguided to me.
Yeah.
So you,
Well, I didn't exactly know where the transition was gonna be until we get to the field, and I didn't want anyone to think I was misleading them, so we went with the higher of the two, since.
well, I mean, you gotta go with what the information you've got now.
Correct.
You're at 152 with the grade. So as long as it meets, you've got a contour there that's at 152 and the bottom of the wall's at 152. All right? So it just, I think what Michael's asking for is some kind of a section, maybe a cross section and a longitudinal section of what that court's gonna look like in that area, that's all. That's, I think, is valid.
Because that wall's gonna step
Yeah.
in probably 2 sections.
Yeah.
Well, is it going to step, or is it going to just go in a diagonal line?
It's not, it is a block, it's in step. Oh, yeah, the block steps.
It does.
Yeah, but it doesn't indicate that on this plan.
Yeah, just to
Right.
summarize, I think we need more detail
Yeah.
of this wall and how it's gonna relate to the elevation grade change. It's just unclear here.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
If I eliminated any wall that's over 4 foot, does that put this whole thing to bed?
Then your grade is gonna be pouring into your tennis court. I don't see how that's possible based on this site plan.
Yeah, I don't either.
Then the sunken tennis
If we were
court.
to change it, if I called the engineer and said, rework this and get this wall down 2 more feet,
You'd have to regrade the entire property to allow that to happen.
Even if it's 6 foot is permissible, we
Yeah.
for that. So, what would you like us to do, I'm confused as the end result. The wall, obviously, if we're talking about grade, would need to remain in order so the soil doesn't fall back onto it.
Okay.
Well, what
suffice-
What I'd like to propose, and I think that the building inspector will require the same thing after our review, is that there's a proposed site plan that shows the correct elevations of the retaining wall in relationship to the final proposed grade. Because it's unclear right now what you're proposing in terms of your final grade and how that's related to the retaining wall.
No, I understand, but.
So the steps that you need to
It's not going
take.
be higher than 6 foot. If anything, we're going to reduce it. It's not going to get higher. So my question is, what will change? We're happy to provide what you want, but we will need a retaining wall. And it confuses me that we have neighbors who would complain about 4 foot or a small portion of a 6 foot wall when literally the entire neighborhood have. We've seen 10-foot walls in the front view. So that's been approved. Back neighbor to our west.
Yeah, understood. I mean, putting the complaints aside, it still has to be clear for an approval how your grade and your wall are in relationship to each other and what is visible or not visible. So a surveyor, if you need assistance with the grade and the existing elevations compared to the proposed elevations, a surveyor should come and mark out what your elevations are. That way you could be better educated in indicating your top of wall, top of court, and bottom of wall to make sure it all is cohesive. Because right now, the way that it is drawn, the wall is not going to work with the elevation of the court as you're proposing here.
With that 1 6-foot wall.
Correct, and then even going into the perpendicular wall of the 4 foot section, showing the top of and bottom of wall in contrast to the elevation of the court.
But are you concerned that it's getting bigger?
No,
You just want to see it.
just clarified. Just needs to be clarified and cleaned up so it makes sense with the drawing.
I just think, as we said before, 2 sections.
Yep.
You do a cross section and then a longitudinal section through the court and show the wall and existing grade.
Yeah, and it shows
And
both
the
sides.
We can provide that. My
Yep.
question, we're not, obviously, we can't get rid of the wall. We agree on that because we just said if we reduced it, we'll
Right.
have soil
It's no longer as-
falling onto the court, correct? So we're going to need a wall. Can I ask, because we're not being called into ARB for a house, obviously, that's under 7,500 square feet and having some retaining wall, not even past the 6 feet. I just personally, this whole development is being financed I'm not the owner, I'm just a builder, but the 4 lots that are involved with this, or the lots that are involved, are tied together with financing, and the financing is tied together with the permits. So I'm happy to provide anything you want. I have no problem giving you pictures of the wall and getting a surveyor. Some of this takes time, and I don't know when the next meeting will be. But if we could approve this preliminarily and allow for the permit to go through, because I did speak to Dave Kanji, and he said that he was ready to stamp it as a permit, we could make the inspections or movement past, the first clearing or a foundation contingent, so that we couldn't go anything past that. But at least it allows me and reduces the stress I'm under to get these permits. Because we're going to have a wall, we know that, and I think we're using a block that is used all the time, and it's decorative, and we need a wall. You just want the clarity, which I'm happy to get.
Okay, let me just stop you for a second. Is there a way you can screen these walls from the adjoining properties?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if
That's a
there's
simple solution to it, I think. Mr. Tagliavia?
I agree with that.
Yeah, if you can screen it from the
if we can
adjoining
see any
properties,
exposed walls or whatever.
and then I don't believe there'll be a problem.
Just,
Okay, perfect. Yes, we can do that.
Okay, Mr. Rum, can you? If he can just start drawing right on that site plan, just to screen, or the type of screening, do you think that would help?
Yeah, but some of the walls, and just looking at the site plan, aren't gonna be seen.
Yeah, well,
So,
I'm not
and-
talking
and to
about
me-
I'm talking about that section only.
To me, Mr. Chairman, because somebody complains about a retaining wall, and we're looking at it, you can build retaining walls.
Yeah.
And we're looking at it, and I think, if we understand or look at a section from the, that proposed pickleball court that looks at both the cross-section and longitudinal section, you'll get a little better idea of what that's gonna be,
Yeah.
Kelly, can you just make that a little larger so we can look at the other?
Zoom in or zoom out?
Yeah, zoom in, yeah, so we
Yeah.
can look at maybe the other corner.
Over here?
Is that 58, 56? What is it?
Yeah, it's kind of tough to see.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
I mean, I'm just suggesting,
Because most of those walls are facing interior wise.
right, and the
And they're not
ones-
gonna see, nobody's gonna see them.
Well, the ones that are gonna be seen outside, he can screen it from the neighbors, and that's it.
Finished floor is 151.
Yeah, because I
Yes.
understand most of these aren't gonna be seen, they're internal. But the ones that are gonna be seen, can you screen those?
I can screen what you want. If you want to indicate it on that C or whatever plan you're using, you can mark that up and say, please screen this wall with, an evergreen of some nature, if that's what you want to call for, arborvitae, or a light cypress
Steve?
or something.
Yeah.
We typically don't do that.
Right.
We ask you to identify the walls
Oh,
that are
okay.
good,
I
and
can put that-
you propose what you want to use.
Okay, I'm gonna suggest something, because I realize you're under the gun here on financing and everything, but what we can do is we can give you an approval on the residence, and then you can submit the sections and the screening plan to Mr. Tagliavia, and if he wishes, he can consult with Mr. Rump and then give you an approval on that.
That would
Or
be
not.
perfect if we could get the approval for the house.
Sure.
Yes, let's just do it today.
That's a good compromise.
Okay,
Are you okay with that
I'm okay
compromise?
with
Then
that.
he can at least
all
start his
right, do you
building.
want to make a motion to that effect?
I will make a motion to that effect.
Okay,
So to clarify, approve the residents and,
We'll approve the residents, and the motion has been made to approve the residents as is, to get drawings of the screening of the retaining walls and the
A
cross-section
longitudinal and cut section
and cut section.
showing the retaining walls, the adjacent grading, and the court elevation.
Okay?
Can we add one thing to that?
Yes.
Can, Steve, would you be able just to give us a detail of how that wall's going to be constructed
Sure.
with that cross-section?
Right, like is he putting deadheads in or what?
Yeah.
Well, what the footings are, what, you know, what
Yeah.
the, whatever that is, if it's,
Because
if
he's
it's
gonna have to
gravel.
disturb the backside
Yeah.
of it at least.
And that's going to be on the drawing, and anything you, this is a suggestion, anything you disturb, because that's a non-disturbance buffer, you said, you'll just have to replace it.
You bet, yes.
Okay. All right, that's the motion. Do I hear a second on it?
I'll second that.
No, you made the motion.
I'll
You
second
made-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Chairman made the
All right, Mr. Rump seconded it.
Ah,
Okay, motion has been made and seconded on this, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, your residence is approved. You to submit these drawings to Mr. Tagliavia for his review of it, and if he wishes, he can review it with Mr. Rump also.
Great.
Do I send that in to Carrie? I don't have any contacts for anyone else. so
yes,
what I-
if you send it to Carrie, she can forward it.
Okay,
Okay.
this means you do not have to come back to the ARB.
Okay.
And it gets you going for
Right,
the
you're,
foundation
Yeah.
and getting your building permit.
yeah, you're approved as of now on the residence.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Right,
Have a nice
okay.
day.
All right, is 825 Old Sag Harbor Road ready, Charles?
I don't see. One second.
Okay,
I don't have any hands.
okay, so that's
And-
gonna be a holdover,
Right. We go back to 412?
yeah. Okay. No, 412 is a
That was
holdover.
definite holdover, yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's a
wrote that.
definite
I think that's
holdover.
everybody.
Right,
Because we didn't have anything for Gleason, right? There's no Gleason there
Gleason,
again, right?
nothing came in,
No.
Okay.
and that's it, all right. Any other business to come before the board, because we've concluded with the agenda? If
Make a
not,
motion to adjourn?
adjourn.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
And the next meeting is December 20th. And everyone, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the Architectural Review Board of the Town of Southampton will now come to order, and we are reconvening this meeting on December 6th, 2022. And we're going to continue with what was left out from the agenda for that date, and it's 825 Old Sag Harbor Road. And, all right, on this, is the applicant available to present his application to the board?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. We have the drawings, I
We
believe.
had them, but since we closed the meeting, I deleted them because this is
Oh.
a public computer. Well, not public, but everyone shares this laptop.
Right.
So now I have to get them back.
All right, stand by.
All right, I'm really glad I caught that there. It was very close.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Jeremy Morton, representing 18 Second Avenue LLC as the managing member.
If you want to start just talking about your application,
Yeah,
I'll find
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
So it's a new construction vacant lot. It's a 2-acre parcel that's sprinkled in between multiple 4-acre parcels.
to the south of us is a reserve, and then more larger properties that range between like large ranch style or large farm. So they're probably 8+ acre. We're elevated with a sort of water view, and standing at the property, you're unable to see any existing home visibly at all throughout the trees. Ultimately, too, as a marketing standpoint, they put a deer stand to replicate the view. So you're actually able to walk up to the second floor now, or the second floor height, and you're actually only able to see one rooftop of a neighboring lot, and that's 2 lots over to the east, so significantly farther away. So basically, we're a 2 acre parcel. We're not encroaching on the property line in any way, and we are. I was asked by the person I was corresponding with before the meeting if we had any plans for screening, but I don't really think screening is necessary on this property. There's really no visibility at all to any neighboring properties. Our closest neighbor to us is to the southwest, and they're significantly far away. Their home is actually on the west side of their 4 acre parcel, so you can't even visibly see it from any portion of our lot. So yeah, I would just like to present the home itself. You can see that it's very in line with it's cedar shake shingles, very traditional Hamptons look. We have the pool in the front of the house, which our architect is sort of famous for. He's done quite a few clients with this particular sort of setup with the pool in the front of the home. And yeah, that's about it. I'm hoping it's quite straightforward.
Okay. Yeah, the concern about it was because you're at a higher level, light trespass. And in other words, the lights that you have in the house, are they going to encroach into the neighbors' properties?
In terms of like visibility or shining?
Shining, visibility, etc.
Yeah, I think what we have with the denseness of the woods, I think anything that's sort of like any quote-unquote light pollution will have been dimmed or completely non-existent by the time it reaches any neighboring properties. And I also feel too that I have a lot of experience with this, doing work on the water with other review boards in the Hamptons. And every single home that we're doing has a full automated shade system. So the majority of our clientele keeps the shades down unless they're in the rooms, and then typically at night those shades, those blackout shades, are typically down. Obviously further limiting the light pollution.
Okay.
But I think just our main thing here is just the denseness of the woods. I mean, the significant denseness. I can't imagine anybody even having a clear sight path to our windows. And then, of course, our home, the actual top of the house doesn't actually eclipse the tree line. So at no particular point would anybody below us, have the ability from their home to see above the tree line, to see any lights on.
Okay, Mr. Rump, since this was your former area, do you mind taking this one?
No, not at all.
Thank you.
So is, Kelly, would you mind making that a little bit bigger
Sure.
for us? It's the only problem with having this on a screen.
I know.
Yeah.
You know?
We need the little screens here.
What is, trying to see,
Which they talked about doing.
6271.
That would be perfect.
No, they're gonna, little,
So you've located the house on the highest point of the site,
270.
Right.
correct?
Yeah, to utilize the water views.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just a little confused that is there any clearing restrictions on the lot?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, I see the line, it's not,
We're about 1,000 feet under the limit of clearing.
okay, now I see the line, it was labeled, but it's not,
Yeah.
doesn't.
My apologies.
No, it's just the surveyor and things. So the lots on either side of that, are they buildable?
actually am not sure about the one direct to our east, but obviously there is a home on the lot to our direct parcel to our west. They've actually located their home in the southwest corner of a 4-acre parcel.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see how far just distance that creates.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this one to our east is essentially 2 lots over to our north and east, and that home you can barely see the top of the roof, even when you're up on the deer stand, which has you about 24 feet above the ground.
Okay.
You can see here our neighbor to the west. The way that their home is positioned is significantly far away from us, which is great. And then this area to our south is a reserve. And then these areas along here near the power line are very far away. You can't even catch a glimpse of those at all anywhere.
All right. The materials, they were all obviously cedar,
Correct.
shake, and then you've got black windows. And what's the roof material?
This is we're deciding right now whether we're gonna use Alaskan yellow cedar, which silvers out and grays out, or if we're gonna use red cedar, similar to a job we just finished in Sagaponic. We're just currently trying to make that decision now, but either way, it'll be that nice grayed out silver or gray, which will be similar to this after a few years, and then at the start, it will start as red cedar.
The is that on the ARB form that I've got to sign?
I'm not sure. I don't.
Not positive.
Okay. Well, I would just, we'd like
Finalize
to have some final decision on that. I know it's a small thing, but, it's, we like the applicants to make their decision so that.
Can we just, I can decide now, I mean, we're 95% sure it's red cedar, I can just
All right.
make
Yeah,
red cedar.
then it's.
That's fine then, that's fine.
Indicated then.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't have any further questions,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rump. Mr. Jankowski, comments?
No, I think the way it was explained where you can't see it, and he's got everything with the light pollution, so I think he did good. No issues.
All right, good. Mr. Tagliavia?
No
comments?
issues or comments.
Okay, fine, and I don't have any either. Mr. Rump covered all of them, the ones I had, so. That's it. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve that,
Do I-
that we add the red cedar as the roofing material.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, motion has been made and seconded on this application. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's approved.
Thank you guys
With-
very
with-
much for
with
holding
red
out. I
cedar.
really appreciate the extra time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.
Okay,
Okay,
all
thank
right, any other thing coming before?
Any other hands, Charles?
Yeah, any other? Charles, we still? No. Okay, fine, we're gonna hurry on this then. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Again.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn this special session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.